Hello, it's Peter Wright and Kathleen Beauvais in Ontario, Canada. And it's a fairly gloomy, typical fall weather day in Ontario, Canada today. And we have episode number 142 of the Yakking Show for you today. This is the show for awakening you to new perspectives for the changing world we find ourselves in. We have another very interesting guest today, but it's not my job to introduce guests. Kathleen always does it a lot better than I can. So before I introduce Kathleen, our co-host, let me just say she wears another hat, and that is finding people to solve your IT recruitment and development needs. So if you've got problems in that area, get hold of Kathleen. That's enough from me. Welcome, Kathleen. Hi, how are you today?
I'm doing great, Peter. Thank you so much for that intro. And thank you all so very much for tuning into our show. We so appreciate you and we love reading your comments. So do please keep those coming. And if anyone out there is interested in being a guest on our show, please don't hesitate to reach out to either Peter or myself. And as Peter mentioned, we do have another special guest with us today. His name is Ben Levin. Hello, Ben. Welcome to the show. How are you?
I'm good. Thank you for the warm welcome.
Oh, wonderful. Now, Ben, you are the author of In the Hole, which we are going to chat about in just a bit, but you're also an autistic teenager in your senior year of high school. When did your love of writing first begin?
I've been in love with stories since I was a kid. However, I didn't start writing until I was 10. I'd been making up my own for years, and when I was 10, my mom kept referring to one of my stories as a book, and that made me decide to turn it into a book. Best mistake ever.
So that's giving some of the game away, but what else prompted you to write the book In the Hole?
I decided to write In the Hole after my rabbi at religious school showed me and my class a video about children in Florida who were facing homelessness. Seeing them made me envision a boy who was homeless, and I decided to write his story to raise awareness and fight for the cause.
Wow. So is that a big problem? Did you say Florida, Ben? Homelessness in Florida with children, is it a big problem?
Homelessness all over the United States is a huge problem.
Really? Wow. And we do see in the media references to it, but and I lived in Africa before coming to Canada, and we always assumed that the USA was the most wealthy, successful, well-developed nation in the world. So it was always hard for outsiders like me to envision any sort of homelessness in the USA. So thank you for that.
I actually originally while I did have to take it out, In the Hole originally had an introduction where David mentions we were poor in the world's richest country. How is that possible?
Yeah.
Yeah. So Ben, your book specifically highlights homelessness among children. What was the reason that you wanted to really focus in on this particular cause?
I saw the video, my heart went out, I guess.
Yeah.
And I'm really glad it did. It's given me a lot of chances to do research and learn more about how I can help the cause.
Well, we commend you for that. Absolutely.
Yeah.
Thank you.
So how did you do that research, Ben?
Some of the research came from my grandfather, who also worked to fight homelessness. Others we found by luck. I don't remember for certain, but I'm pretty sure my former publicist, Catherine Hall, also found me some people to interview.
So I have to ask you, Ben, the book title, In the Hole, how did that come about? How did you come up with that title?
It just came to me, I guess,
Yeah.
as in the whole me, the whole of poverty.
Aha. In the whole of poverty. Well, that makes sense. That makes sense. So I have to ask also, what is the best part about being a published author?
I love being able to be an example for my community.
Mhm.
And I also love how it helps me raise awareness for causes I believe in, such as homelessness.
Mhm. No,
Hmm.
excellent.
Okay. You said that autism is not a curse, it's a blessing, Ben. So tell us why you feel this way, or tell our audience why you feel this way.
Autism made me a writer. Autism helps me hold on to so many storylines at once and come up with so many ideas. I can also hyper focus and concentrate when I work on my stories, and I also have a few really, really good friends who are also autistic, and these friends have all helped me so much and played major parts in my life, which is not just one of the best things about autism, but about neurodivergence and diversity in general. All of the wonderful communities that come from their differences.
Hmm. Excellent.
Yeah.
And
That is interesting.
yeah,
You talk about, sorry, can I just
no,
add
absolutely.
to that? You talk about focus. Tell us how we can improve our focus. Because I struggle with focus when I'm writing.
Hmm. I don't, to be honest, I'm not completely sure how exactly to
Okay.
share my secrets.
When you find it, find out. Let me know, because it's something I definitely need to work on. So I've also written a book, and I know how much one needs to focus to be able to get through
I
writing a
do
book.
want
So
to say one
congratulations.
thing.
Yes,
Mm,
go ahead.
It is not black and white.
Mm-hmm.
I struggle with focus a lot, especially when I have something emotional going on, which is more often than I'd like to admit.
Right.
So while I do think that my writing does help me tune everything out, I mean my autism, don't feel like it does it every time.
okay.
Right. Hmm.
Thanks for that.
So Ben, what advice would you have for others on the autism spectrum um, for achieving their dreams? Do you have any advice for them?
We are as capable as anyone else of achieving our dreams. Don't let the people who think that our label makes us less than get to our heads. Instead, just proving them wrong.
Absolutely. What a great message. Thank you for that.
Mm-hmm, mm-hmm,
Mhm.
mm-hmm. Yeah, and some people on the spectrum achieve greater dreams than people who would consider themselves not on the spectrum or average. I'm thinking in particular of the lady whose name I can't remember, who became expert in designing cattle and animal handling facilities. I'm sure you
Greta
would have read about it.
Thunberg.
Yeah, no. She was somewhere in the southern states, maybe California, and it wasn't Greta Thunberg. I can't think of her name. She would be now in her 50s, maybe even 60s. It was a few years ago I read about her, but she became a consultant for cattle feedlots and abattoirs, and she worked out better than anybody else how to design facilities to keep the animals calm when they were being handled. And everyone asked her how she did it, and she said, I just watched the animals and I just felt the solution. So I've always remembered that. Can't think of her name. Oh, it'll come to me, I'm sure, at some time. So let's talk about your book, and we want our audience to know where they can get it. How can they get your book, Ben?
From Amazon.com and jumpmasterpress.org. They can also, well, I'm not. Sorry, give me a moment. I would also appreciate if they went to my website, benlevinauthor.com, to learn about my books and writing, as well as to check out my resource page.
Great.
For homelessness resources.
So that's benlevinauthor.com. We will put that as a caption at this point in the video. And for people who are listening to the audio, I'll say it again, benlevinauthor.com, and it'll also be in the description on all the podcast channels. So you can go and have a look at Ben's website from there. Back to you, Kathleen.
So Ben, what is next for Ben Levin, the writer? And then what's next for Ben Levin, the student?
I'm currently working on 5 projects. I tend to write a lot of different stories at once.
Oh, wow.
And I am also going to professionally publish one of my most beloved book series, Nellie's Friends, the first few books in it.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, wonderful. Congratulations
Very good.
on that.
Yeah.
And what about I'm sorry, Peter, I just
carry on. Keep going.
How about Ben Levin, the student?
I really want to go to a liberal arts college next year.
Yes. Well, good for you.
I got a practical question for you, for others who be watching or listening in the audience. How do you make it easy for you to write? Do you have a time routine when is there certain times of the day and night when it's better? Do you have a special room or a special deck? You got any secrets like that?
I do tend to work best under time crunches, and I also have to feel the story. My favorite piece of advice to give other writers is read a lot of books, watch a lot of movies, and live a lot of life.
Good advice. Good advice
Excellent
indeed. Yeah. That's very good. Wonderful.
Well,
then have you got anything else you would like to tell our audience about writing? Anything at all? Homelessness, anything you'd like to add?
Nothing's coming to mind.
Okay.
it's okay.
No, that's fine.
That's okay.
Well, thank you very much.
Yes.
Well, one thing.
Yes.
Sure.
Follow your dreams and embrace who you are.
Oh, those are words that we all need to live by, isn't it?
Yeah.
And we need to be reminded of it as well, right? Yeah.
Absolutely. Oh, that's great. Thank you very much, Ben.
Yes, thank you so much, Ben. And thank you all again for tuning into our show. We love reading your comments. And if anyone out there is interested in being a guest, please don't hesitate to reach out to either Peter or myself. And until next time, take care. Bye-bye, everyone.